Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow toaster strools, back to the channel. This is your host with the most, A.K.A. also known as Nelson. And today I felt I want to get a little fancy on that ass with the additional hat. And for those who are familiar with my content, typically speaking, I always try to get my disclaimers out of the way, just in case for those who may or may not know this. Typically speaking, I try to get the gist of my thought process in the first 5 minutes if I possibly can. And if I go past 5 minutes, that's usually why I might go into more details to cover certain bases that maybe I didn't cover beforehand. But with that being said, let me also give my second disclaimer. Please stay hydrated, y'all. But today I said to myself, well, you know what? I want to treat myself a little bit. Got a little sparkling wine right here. Hold up. One more time. Very good. And today, we're going to cover something that was requested by me. Not by me, but by a good gentleman who shall remain anonymous, that disclosed to me he wanted to know, could I possibly cover in the next edition of the series in questioning, is Softcore Pron in regards to Onlyfans sus? And I told him, absolutely, I will cover it. And I won't lie to y'all. This one, well, actually, I do want to give another quick disclaimer, real quick, y'all. When it comes to the sus series, what I hope people understand is that the purpose of the sus series is not to necessarily give a quote-unquote definitive answer to these questions necessarily. It's for us to entertain ourselves a little bit and just trying to find a common ground with each other. For those who agree and who may disagree. Some may find something sus, some people may not find sus. So, because of that, I'm going to try to be a little bit more flexible if I possibly can, a little more open-ended for you guys to come and participate with me. But with that being said, what's interesting about, before we go any further than this, let me just make something clear, y'all. Something else I do want to make sure is understood is that anytime we have a discussion in regards to a certain subject matter that can be easily misconstrued, or let's say the language barrier that exists within everyone's bubble of reality can be easily skewed into different directions that other people have no comprehensive understanding of where we're going with this. So because of that, I want to first of all establish, what do I mean when I say hardcore, y'all, what's the difference between hardcore Pron and softcore Pron before we get into this? Because again, that's a very important distinction I want to make that clear of. Because again, from my understanding, I want to make this clear, y'all, this is from my understanding. When I think of softcore Pron, I think about an imagery of sexual intercourse to where it's light on the surface and it tries or tends to not be too extreme with its display of human interaction. Now, hardcore Pron is, to an extent, is about the opposite, to where it's much more willing to showcase a lot of more the vulgar side of sexual intercourse with human beings, amongst other things, which I will not touch on here, but you know what I'm talking about. So just establish that, y'all. When you want to apply that concept of softcore Pron as I'm putting it, and you want to put it in terms of Onlyfans, which I will make a separate video for in itself, it's tricky. It's a case-by-case scenario in the way that I look at it, or that I'm picturing it in my head. Because on one hand, yes, can it be sus depending on the individual? Yes, it can be. But it in itself, can it be sus? To an extent, I would say no. But again, I would say yes most of the time when it comes to individual, depending on how they carry about it. I'll give you all an example of what I'm talking about. If, first of all, you know what? I'm going to give you all a quick story as to why I'm going to use the example that I'm about to use. Shout out to Cinemax. If y'all remember Cinemax, all back in the days, back to the, I want to say late 90s to early 2000s, they used to show previews of, certain movies that were coming up on their channel. And I ain't gonna say all networks, but there are certain networks that do have those channels that showcase certain adult entertainment at a certain hour in the night. And so, y'all, growing up watching it, and when did I start watching Softcore Pron? I probably say I started around either, and I know some of y'all might be a little shocked, but I think to an extent, I'm not gonna say, but then I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I started around, I want to say 10 to 12. So like between the ages of 10 to 12, that's probably where I started. And I know some of y'all be like, God damn, that's young as fuck, right? It is young. It don't get twisted, y'all. I'm not saying, or I'm not encouraging. Oh, let me get another little swig in with the pink out. There you go. I'm not saying by any means, y'all, that, I'm encouraging children to watch adult content. I'm not encouraging that. I'm just giving y'all my first-hand experience as to how I was introduced to Pron, Softcore Pron to be specific, and how that evolved into other things. So the thing was, y'all, when I watched it the first time, yes, you had a man, you had a woman, and yes, you had women on women. I never saw any men on men. Don't care for it. And personally, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But the purpose of saying that is this. Again, they showed the interaction to an extent, but they never showed the penetration. They never showed, someone giving head in terms of like the full detail downstairs. They would show, obviously the girl bobbing her head down, doing this, like, right? They would do all that, but they wouldn't show it exclusively what was going on. And to me, it's like, to an extent, it's like, I guess you could say it's somewhat of a censored version of, again, something you would typically experience yourself firsthand account. And to me, I think that is tolerable for people who feel like, oh, that's a little too much, I don't want to see all that. But you still, let's say, want to see some kind of imitation of human interaction or human intimacy. And I think that's a big part of it. So that's the thing. Can that intimacy be replicated on OnlyFans? And to an extent, in the realm of softcore Pron, I would say, half. Let me say at least half of the time, no, and half of the time, maybe. The reason why I'm at least saying no and maybe not saying yes, y'all, is because, again, if you, no, I'll put it like this, right? I would think that in my mind, because I would think when it comes to OnlyFans content, or let me explain so y'all to let it be understood, is that when we're talking about OnlyFans, we know that, or for most people, they understand that OnlyFans does not just provide users who want to put out essentially sex work. Or let's not say sex work necessarily for everyone on there who puts that kind of content out there. Some do, some don't, in that intention. I do want to make that clear. But at the same time, what I would say is this. If, let's say, I'm going to give an example to be said. If you have someone who has an OnlyFans that, let's say, puts out NSFW, no, not safe for work content out there. Shout out to Reddit for teaching me that. I would say if she is she's putting out content, let's say one video regarding her having sexual intercourse with another man. Let's say that, for example, but they're not showing the penetration, right? Not showing the penetration. They're not doing anything illegal, let's say extra or what have not. Let's say she's giving him a blowjob, but she's not showing him or showing her giving the blowjob, but you get another context in the video to see she is giving one, right? That, to an extent, is softcore in the sense that I'm describing it. But guess what? That may not do for everyone. So content like that may not flourish on that platform. So that's the thing. And also, let's say this. Even let's say masturbation. Another great example I can use. Yes, there are women who can masturbate on OnlyFans and they can make that as content. But let's say if she's not showing herself, her fingers, doing all, putting her legs up like, I know y'all can't see it, but, like, no, shit like that, then I would say that yes, that could consider to be softcore prom, but it may not be prominent on the site in terms of, viewership or people who would care to see it. You get what I'm saying? Now, if it was something like Twitter or whatnot, sure, I think that's more appealing because, again, if you want to be more in the realm of, what was it? What would you say? Showcasing, not showcasing necessarily, but, I guess making teases, what have you. But overall, y'all, I guess that's where I want to personally leave it off right now for now. Now, again, I would probably go more into detail with OnlyFans at some point, but in regards to the request that was made, I made enough of a case for you guys to, take into consideration, get your gears turning. And again, if you agree with me, then cool. If you don't if you agree with me, cool. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Again, share your thoughts and your opinions down low in the comment section down below. Again, if you don't want to for whatever reason, you can by all means get it in my Twitter, which I do put in the description box below. If you don't fuck with Twitter, then by all means, again, I've made it to where I can put my Discord thingamabob in there as well. If you rock with Discord, but if you don't rock with Discord, you don't rock with none of that, I mean, all right then. I mean, I'll let if you gonna, telepathically get my ass or, astral project on my ass in one way to contact me. I mean, that's your spill. But anyhow, y'all, thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully, y'all, if there's any other particular suggestions you guys want me to cover, by all means, please, like I said, hit me up however you feel like you can. Of course, respectfully, don't do nothing crazy, y'all. Don't do nothing like that. But I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace, love, namaste, and I'm out. Bye.